Jason Rzucidlo reporting from the 2014 AltCar Expo, and I'm being joined by Darryll Harrison from Volkswagen. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Very good. So go ahead and tell me about the new E-Golf here.
This is the 2015 E-Golf. This is Volkswagen's first all-electric car available in the United States. Goes on sale in November. We're really excited about it. 24.2 kilowatt-hour battery, 85 kilowatt electric motor, 115 horsepower, 199 pound-feet of torque. It actually will be the most roomy, the most spacious compact EV on the market when it comes to the market in November. In addition to that, we expect that most people will probably see range of 70 to 90 miles in real-world driving. But the really cool thing about the car is that it actually has 3 driver-selectable profiles, meaning that you can drive as efficient as you'd like. So we have normal mode, we have Eco and Eco Plus. Each mode impacting the top speed, the amount of torque that's available, the amount of air conditioning that you can use to help improve or reduce the amount of efficiency from the car. That's coupled with 3 regeneration modes for the regenerative braking, which again helps to maximize the efficiency on the car. Now, in testing, we found that those folks that tend to drive more efficiently in Eco Plus, for example, or max regeneration, actually see a range of 100 miles or more. Oh, wow. So there's a lot of flexibility built in. It just depends on how you like to drive.
Now you mentioned the battery capacity and all that. How long does it take to charge?
Well, it has a 7.2 onboard charger, which actually is one of the largest in the space, or rather in the class. For a level 2 charge, 240 volts, it takes just under 4 hours to charge completely. It will come standard with DC fast charge, and of course that's up to 80% in under 30 minutes. And it does have level 1. Level 1's a little bit slower. It takes about 18 to 20 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say are the major differences from like the Chevy Volt?
Well, the first thing is that this is pure electric. So there's no gas engine, there's no extender. It's all electric. The other thing is that this particular car was designed really to capture the essence of what a Golf is and what consumers come to expect from a Golf. So in terms of interior space, I mentioned there's no intrusion from the battery, there's no intrusion from any other EV-specific components. So you have the same amount of space that you have in any Golf, whether it be gas, diesel, or even if we had compressed natural gas. The other thing is that this car, because the battery is placed in a very optimal position, because it's well balanced, is fun to drive. It's, again, just like a Golf. Fun to drive, you get all of the creature comforts that you get from the Golf. So those are probably some of the key things.
Yeah, of course.
So go ahead and talk to me about the interior features.
Sure. So as I mentioned before, interior of the E-Golf, we wanted the Golf was completely redesigned for 2015. So we wanted to ensure that there were certain key things on any Golf, but of course with the E-Golf there's some key specific differences. So one of the telltale signs that you're driving an E-Golf as opposed to another Golf is the blue stitching. So it's something that you see out in front of the car as well. There's different elements throughout the car that highlight the fact that this is the E-Golf. The other element is if you look at the gauge cluster, you'll notice that there's still analog gauges, just like more conventional non-electric cars. However, we basically just move some things around. So you have, instead of a fuel gauge, you have state of charge for the battery. Instead of our RPM or our engine speed gauge, you have a gauge that shows you when you're charging or when you're using energy. We have a gauge that shows you how much power is available based on the amount of energy in the battery. So you have all of these different things. Again, it looks like a traditional gas car, but we've integrated it seamlessly into the electric vehicle powertrain, or gauges rather. Excuse me. Now, in terms of the car, we're actually looking at a European model because the car goes on sale in November, but this gives you a sense of what's to expect. So you have things like driving data. Now, this car has been sitting, so there's no data here, but it tells you how many miles you've driven since start or since charge. It tells you about your average miles per hour. It actually will also tell you how much range that you have left, as well as how efficient you are. So how many kilowatt hours per mile you're expending. You have long-term data as well, and you actually also have since charging. So again, similar information, but it'll give you an idea of kind of how you're doing in terms of performance. Vehicle status, obviously, if there's something wrong with the car, it would tell you. And then you have e-display. So this may not make it to U.S. Production in terms of this particular graphic, but theoretically speaking, we will have a graphic that tells you about range, it tells you about power flow, and things of that nature. So as you can tell, it's seamlessly integrated into the radio. This setup was actually new for 2015. It's capacitive, so it's kind of like your iPhone or smartphone. You don't have to apply pressure to change it. Yeah. In addition to that, like I said, the interior space, size, other features are standard across the line for Golf.
All right. And these are going on sale when?
They're scheduled to go on sale in November. They'll be in showrooms in limited states around the country. Right now, we're starting with 11 states, and we'll go from there.
Can you talk about the pricing or the leasing?
We didn't talk about the pricing, but we can. So we're actually going to launch the premium SEL model first, which essentially is a top-of-the-line model. The only options you'll have really are exterior color and interior color. And so pricing-wise, MSRP before incentives is $35,445. We also will have a lease deal, which will be about $229 a month. Beginning of next year, we actually are going to introduce a lower trim model in SE. Okay. And in that model, we don't have final pricing yet, but it will be lower price, obviously. And lease price, we're looking at somewhere around $200 per month.
All right. So by the time the LA Auto Show is here, they'll already be on sale?
That's correct. The SEL premiums will be on sale.
All right. Very good. Any other final comments before we wrap it up?
Enjoy the drive.
All right. Thanks so much. Nice speaking with you today.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.